I'd like to take just 2 minutes of your time to talk about your feet and how we might improve the integrity of their structure so they do a better job. And ultimately that job is foundation, providing you with foundation connection to the ground when you're walking, when you're moving, when you're standing still. So this is a human foot, much like your own, I'm sure. Very, very simply, we'll call this the back. This is the heel of the foot. This is the front, so these are the toe pads and these are the toes. And in between is the heel arch. Now this is pronation, where the heel arch is coming towards the ground, and this is supination, where the heel arch is lifting away from the ground. And this is a subtle bit of product placement, offering some gratitude and respect to the teacher, where I really understood the idea of heel arches and how important and powerful they are to a human existence. First things first, I'd like you to feel the difference between the two. So if you push down through the toe pad, draw the toes off the ground, maybe roll onto the outside edges of the feet, push the heel down, you can really begin to draw up the heel arch and begin to get a sense of what supination feels like. Conversely, if you let your toe pad relax, let the toes come back down, heavy through the heel, imagine this leg is kind of made of steel, really pushing down into the ground. One can begin to feel into what pronation feels like when the foot comes down towards the ground. Now, pronation is totally natural. We move through both supination and pronation when we walk. It's the movement of the heel that kind of allows us to navigate the terrain. The problem, or the kind of the area for inquiry, tends to be when people hang out in hyperpronation. What that means is when they really just allow the heel arch to collapse throughout the day, when they're sort of stood at the bus stop, when they're stood at the bar, all these different times when you're standing still, allowing this just to be very heavy and kind of unconsciously switching off. So what I'd like you to do, simple inquiry, next time you have a moment, ideally barefooted, but really any other time, just take a moment and check, hang on, what's happening to my heel arches? Are they in pronation? Are they hanging really heavy? If that's the case, can you feel into how that affects the rest of your body? So kind of tracking up when your heel arches are collapsing. Do you feel the insides of the legs beginning to drop in, beginning to cave in? Does this mean that your shoulders in turn might also be beginning to collapse and sort of rolling towards the ground? And alternatively, if you were to really push, as I said, push the toe pads down, find the heel arch lifting nicely, would that change the rest of your structure? Would you feel like an upward lift to the inside of the leg? Perhaps you might feel, conversely, the shoulders rolling back, a little bit of a lift, and beginning to find a little bit more lift and integrity through your structure. So that's really all it is. Inquire, feel for yourself the difference between supination and pronation, feel the dance, and next time you get a moment, inquire for yourself how the change affects the rest of your being. And as always, please send me a little reply, little response. I love to hear how these videos are going down, and I shall see you again soon. Bye bye.